And okay, but we're not live over here, so we're gonna be live here. So, ay Dios mío, I'm super nervous. This is what Wanda does for me. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Three, two, and okay. Now I am okay. So, Wandita.
Yes.
I wanted to say thank you to everyone first to have the time and be with us in the last episode for this year. I can't believe it, but I have somebody that I love. It's like a sister to me. Is I can't even do an introduction, and I have this written in paper. But see, the people are already logging in. But I wanted to say thank you, and I have a special person that is I'm going to introduce to you right now. Her name is Wanda Reyes-Dawes. But you know what? I'm going to do something different. She's going to say, who's Wanda?
So, well, thank you first of all for inviting me. And yes, you are like my sister. I'm the oldest, by the way. She's my youngest
No,
sister in
she's not.
spirit. Wanda is, if I had to define myself, I would say I'm a servant leader. I'm always about serving others. And I'm a very caring individual. And I get that, thank God for my parents who were very loving and kind. My mom is still around, thank God. But I think in general, my whole life purpose is to be helpful to others.
And you know what? We feel it every single day. You've been so generous, not only as a friend, as a mom, as a wife. Ben is right here. He's listening to us. The amazing husband that we love very much as well. We're gonna say shout out to Ben. But Wanda, I'm amazed with your trajectory. You are there not only, like I said again, as a good friend. You always listening, you always giving, not only females and Latinas, but everybody your point of view, and that ese consejo, siempre estás ahí por uno y siempre estás cuidándonos, pero dime qué es lo que estás haciendo ahora. Tell me what you do for others, even though that I already know, but I want everybody to know what do you do and what's next for Wanda.
Well, thank you for asking. Thank you for your compliments. They're right back at you because you do so much for our community.
No, this is for you.
Yes,
this is Wanda's moment. No, Sonia, this is Wanda.
Not only as I consider myself a servant leader, but I also consider myself someone that likes to work behind the scenes because that's the way I was raised, is to make a difference from the background. But I would say that currently, my husband, who I adore, we've been married 44 years, thank God, has always been very supportive of me no matter what I want to do or what I come to him with. He'll always say, whatever you decide, I'll support you. Yeah. So I can say that I have been a mental health and wellness counselor since the merger of CT State College, Community College. But prior to that, we were known as Manchester Community College. Mm-hmm. So I have been, actually today is kind of odd. Today I was recognized for 20 years at CT State Manchester, which was formerly Manchester Community College. I'm actually 21 years going on 22 years in February. And I can honestly say that when I go to work, on my way to work, I'm not only thanking God for the blessing of the job that I have, but also the difference that I pray every day I make in the lives of the students that I'm privileged to serve. 21 years, I can honestly say I can now sort of tell my husband, well, I used to go out with him and when he was a teacher and always had to see some student who would say, Mr. Dawes, Mr. Dawes. And now it's reversed. Now he sees me, and sometimes he sees students that come to me that I've, again, been privileged to serve and help with their mental health and wellness needs. And it's extremely important, not because I'm in that sector, but I have found since the beginning and after COVID that students normally come to me about stress, anxiety, depression, and loss. Loss can be a pet, a loved one, a friend, a job, any type of loss. But in the last year, and I've shared this with my colleagues, I have noticed something very different than I have ever noticed in the past. And that is, no matter how much the presenting concerns may be from students, underlying all of it is a lot of sense of loneliness, of isolation.
Mm-hmm.
And some people actually say to me, Wanda, they feel isolated because they're always on their devices, on their gadgets. They isolate themselves from the world because they're so busy with, and I think that definitely is a major part of it. But I also think that there's not enough opportunities for folks, young people in particular, to socialize. If we think about what just recently happened over the weekend,
Jesus,
with
yes.
with unfortunate, deaths, innocent lives at a university, at a what I understood to be a Jewish celebration. More and more students come to our college with the notion that, am I going to make it home today? And
Wow.
even my husband says to me, be safe,
careful.
be safe. But we can't control others. We can only control ourselves and how we respond to things.
Yeah.
But today I was recognized along with many others across the system for our years of service. And I just felt a sense of pride of knowing I have been there. I have seen many reiterations of our system, and the last one being the merger almost 3 years ago. And we're still in the growing pains of that merger. But I love what I do. And I always say the day that I am no longer happy with what I do or make a difference, then that's when I need to leave.
Well, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
That is in order, and I'm pretty sure I know that you are very private when it comes to your achievements, and you should not be like that because we want to celebrate you as
Thank
well.
you.
We want to, we want to share your happiness every time, and I'm pretty sure that there's been a lot of times, and you are so humble that you just keep it to yourself instead of maybe others that say everything. I'm so sorry for that, but I'm very proud of you in a lot of senses, because you do yourself, in terms about bettering yourself. It doesn't matter the time in your life. Some people are happy the way they are, or they where they at. You always wanted to continue with your um studying, and echando para adelante y siempre, eso es una cosa que tú, maybe tú no lo notas, pero nosotros lo notamos por ti. And we are very proud of you. You are a person who, the Latino community and non-Latino community, you got to understand this. We look up to you. And I know that all the things that you wanted to do, even though that you do amazing things right now for the students, and especially like you said nowadays that that is so hard because mental health. I never thought about it until this past year that it really hit me. But now I see what you do day in, day out, and listening to them and being there for them when nobody listened. But yeah, congratulations is in order.
Thank you.
You said something really interesting. You said that this year you noticed something more intense. What do you think that is? Is it anything to do with, and we're not going to talk obviously politics or things like that, but I mean, unless you want to, I don't care. But what do you think it is? It's a
Honestly, I think it's a compounding effect, if you will. I think we all have different stressors in our life, different challenges. Just being alive presents different challenges. But I think that when you also have the government making decisions that are impacting, especially our particular communities, minority communities, folks that are less privileged than we are, because I consider myself privileged. Yes, I went to school later in life. I always say at the ripe age of 39, I earned my bachelor's degree as a mom, as a wife, as a full-time worker, going to school on weekends so that I could be there for our son during the week. And then I went 2 more years, which I never imagined, to know that you're first generation. And an advisor actually say to you during the college, your bachelor's degree program, 3 months before I graduated, posed the question, what are you going to do, Wanda? I know you're going to use this degree to get a better job, more pay. And I said, yep. Tall Black woman towering over me. I'm a shorty. And she asked me, So doesn't it make sense for you to go for a master's degree, Wanda? And I'll be honest, I think about it now and happenstance, retrospect, if you will, and it really made me sort of bittersweet because I didn't realize, I didn't know that I could go further.
Well,
At the
somebody
time,
else had
I
to say
didn't
that
know
to
that,
you.
right? So, and that same woman has been a mentor to me all these years later. Ended up at Manchester Community College before it became merged. And I will always look up to her for opening my eyes with a simple question and literally said to me, I'll help you with your financial aid application. Wanda applied to Springfield College, apply wherever else. So I applied to Springfield College's Master of Counseling degree, and I also applied at Central. One, because my husband is an alum from there. He's got his teaching degree from there, but also because I was closer to home. I wanted to incorporate our son to be part of my process so he would learn not by me saying, but by me living it, what it takes to go to college and that it's never too late. And I did make him an integral part of my master's degree program, my professors knew my son. I would drop him off at LASO, Latino American Student Organization. And those young people were absolutely wonderful with him. They opened his eyes. And I say I graduated at 41. And as long as I have my husband, my mom, my dad, my brothers, that's what matters more to me when I have those moments, which I feel I've worked hard for. And you said it correctly. I don't necessarily go out of my way to share what I do just because that's the way I was raised, is to be humble. But I am proud in a very humble way. I'm proud of everything I've been able to do with the support of my husband and my family. And I'm going to say this to you today because you're my sis, is I haven't told anyone else, so I'm going to say it here.
Okay.
And that is that,
this is an exclusive.
Yes, I studied for months for the state exam. And my husband, again, always supportive. I used to study 3-4 hours a night. I used to take my textbook to work and study at lunchtime. And I'm proud to say that I passed the state exam.
Woo, baby!
Yes, so
congratulations!
Thank you. So I will be sharing it with my 2 supervisors. I was waiting for the official notification so I can send it to HR and my union and things like that. But I'm really proud because I'm 62. And to be able to have gotten that now instead of getting it when I first started, it's still to me a beautiful gift. It was hard work, but I'm very pleased that I was able to pass. And again, my husband being the way he is, I come out of the building where I took the test. You know where the River Restaurant is?
Yes.
It was there on the 4th floor, and as I was coming out, I was tearing because I couldn't believe.
I'm almost scared right now. I'm holding it.
After all of this work and stress, and even my job, to some degree being on the line, because of the merger, they expected a licensure differently than when I first got hired in 2004. So I'm coming down the steps, and I'm feeling really overwhelmed, but overwhelmed with this sense of, oh my God, thank you, God, that this heavy burden is off my shoulders. And I go to my car and I went to start it and put the paper where it tells me I passed upside down because I was even nervous to look at it. And when I look up to get in the car, right across the parking spot is my husband staring at me. And that's when I broke down.
Oh my goodness.
Because he's always there for me. And I just knew him being there was like the cherry on the top.
Yes.
Because he's always believed in me and always there for me. But I'm happy to say I passed because now the 62-year-old has a lot more options for the future. And I'm hoping because, you have to have a goal after another goal. Because that's what life is all about. Is I say I'm going to be that little old lady if I get to be an old lady.
Not at all, honey. Not at all.
With a cane going to school because I had started my doctorate in 2014 at Northeastern University out of Boston. Did a 1.5 years with my required first residency, and unfortunately, a month later, my husband ended up in the ER. And having to have open heart surgery, so I stopped, of course, because he's more important to me than school. Yeah. And so all these years later, I don't lose hope to go back at some point, maybe not to Northeastern because I cannot afford it, but to go to another program just to finish a doctorate for my own personal satisfaction, and also realizing that it may serve as impetus for my beautiful niece and my nephew that maybe, or grandchildren in the future, they know that it's never too late.
You never seem to amaze me
Thank
with
you.
everything that you do. First of all, seriously, congratulations.
Thank you.
You've been, like you said, working so hard and so quietly in the background doing what's best for you and what you wanted to do. And for all of us, this is a reason that I wanted you here and sharing. We've been meaning to do this for a long time, for a long time. And I think that, sometimes we don't even though that we appreciate, whoever is next to us and their los logros and their achievements, we want to celebrate with you guys. And you specifically, a lot of people look up to you. Like I said again, every room that I go in, people know your name. People know Wandita and Ben, and it's such a beautiful story, you and Ben, and in yourself as a woman, as a Latina, as a woman in education, and community, because your name is synonymous of so many different words, and it's amazing. So I'm so proud of you, and so proud to whatever you're about to do, because this is just the beginning. I see you, and you I'm just looking at you, and if you can do it, anybody can do it.
Yes,
first of all,
absolutely.
but I'm super proud to be your friend and family, and what exactly got you into, obviously you wanted to pursue your education and do more things, and now that you achieved this is huge. Are you planning to, I know that you mentioned, what is next in the 2026 for Wanda? Because I know that you have a lot of different things. Are you going to jump in and do some of them? Because I do.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
You want whatever you want to share.
Yes.
I personally think that you definitely got to be behind either a screen or a microphone.
Oh, thank
Your
you.
words are full of enrichment, so powerful every time you I wish I wish I have half of your thoughts, because sometimes I wanted to say so many things, and you come in, you're always on my background. Hey, listen, it's not like this, but thank you. And there she go, Wandita. She can actually read my mind. So what do you want to do in 2026 for Wanda?
For Wanda, what I want to do is I want to focus a little bit more now that I'm not needing to study, at least not for now.
I'm gonna take a little break from studying. That's good.
Well, from studying, that's going to be maybe a full year of just resting from that. But also, and I have allergies too on top of everything else. I would like to, and I've shared this with my hubby, would like to focus a little bit more time and effort in my, what I call my little side hustle.
Okay.
Which is
Tell us.
Wonderful Creations, which is I love to create. It's another way for me to reduce the stress, because my job does cause a lot of mental and emotional stress, only because I care.
Yeah.
And I want to do so much for students that I can only go so far with the actual position and because we work for the state of Connecticut. But that's my way of releasing stress. And I love to create wreaths and swags and centerpieces.
Beautiful pieces.
Thank you. And I just finished 2 wreaths, one a commercial wreath, which was, oh my God, that was a lot of work.
Yeah.
But I'm always pleased not only to create, but also for me, more importantly, is when the client is happy with my creation. That's what brings me a lot of happiness. But I would like to, that's what I'm hoping to do and planning to do, is to focus more on that, to market it more, because I haven't had the time. When I'm in school, I do not play around with marketing, because I want to be able to provide a product. When I say I'm going to provide the product, I don't ever want to let my customers down. So I take it seriously enough that if I put more time and effort into it, then I can actually market more. And not only in the English community, but in the Spanish community. Porque
Y ahí va el español, ahí va, yo sabía.
Porque yo soy una latina muy orgullosa, de una manera humilde, Tengo mucho orgullo de ser hispana, tengo orgullo de ser puertorriqueña. Mis padres nacieron en Puerto Rico, yo nací, me crié aquí.
Tu mamita, yeah.
Pero todo lo que tiene que ver con otras latinas, a donde quiera que yo pueda ayudar, apoyar, siempre estoy de manera, o personalmente estar allí o detrás de, como uno dice, del escenario, ayudando en lo que yo pueda, porque yo siempre digo que no es uno hablar que uno apoya, sino uno hacerlo a través de acciones.
Y eso es lo que yo he visto de ti. Tú no solamente siempre has estado apoyando y ahora switch to the Spanish because I love that. Yeah. Siempre te veo no solamente apoyando a todas, porque, no es, yo no he visto a través de los años, and we known each other for a long, long time, pero tú siempre estás ahí, no sea de la comunidad, sea de esto, sea de lo otro. Tú eres como un equipo, todo el mundo lo hace y para todos ustedes esos reefs y todas esas, es que tú haces, no sé ni cómo decirlo en español. El último que me hiciste todavía lo tengo en the dining table, and it's a constant reminder how beautiful, things that you can create. And, she doesn't even talk about it, and I'm glad that she's doing it today. So we're going to put all the information, and todavía hay tiempo, y obviamente paguen por sus servicios, okay? Pero no, me encanta lo que haces, me encanta what you stand for. Si tú le quieres dar un advice a una mujer que quizás ya la conozca, quizás es una persona que tú conozcas ahora, if you can actually give an advice to any woman or any man that they're watching right now, ¿qué le podrías decir?
So I often do presentations in the classrooms and sometimes in the community for different agencies that work with students, even adult students, because I work with students from 17 to 70 years old. It depends. Oh, wow. And that is that I usually put up on a board or a PowerPoint is I put the letter E equals O plus O. And normally what happens is students sort of freak out and they think that it's a math equation. It is not a math equation. Usually I say by the time I finish the presentation,
they're like trying to figure it out.
I'd like you to tell me if you can figure out what it stands for. And basically what the beauty of it is that it works in English and it works in Spanish, the acronym. So it's basically education equals options and opportunities. And I honestly believe that education can transform one's life because I am testament to that because of my life and the changes it's brought to my life.
Change somebody's
so
life,
educación.
Está pensando en español.
Sí, educación promueve, opciones y oportunidades.
I love that. Say that again, espérate.
Educación promueve oportunidades y opciones.
That's
education equals options and opportunities because without an education, and by the way, I'm talking about, it doesn't have to be a college education because we're not all made out to do that, can't do it sometimes for different reasons, but even a technical school. We wouldn't have plumbers, electricians, and others if they didn't do the technical school. So I never put down anyone. If you go out for something that's going to make you a decent wage for living, and it's not illegal, you're not hurting yourself or other people, go for it.
Absolutely.
But the point is to get an education of some sort that's going to allow you to have options and opportunities.
And it's a lot of opportunities out there. I think that, nowadays, after COVID, social media has been a huge influence in everyday's life. In Manchester, obviously, it's in Manchester Community College. I don't know if they with the merge.
Manchester, yeah.
What do they offer besides, obviously in financial aid and the department that you've been pretty much running? I can say that out loud. What do you recommend for the students to educate themselves and just what they can do,
So what I would recommend is first go to our website and look at the student activities and new student orientation. If you're planning to come to our school, I'll give Sonia my contact information.
Oh, it's going to be here.
I don't have to be the person that will necessarily help you with new student orientation, but I can definitely connect you with the people that will be there to help you to get to new student orientation, to help you register, figure out what degree you may want to pursue. we not only offer credit programs and degree programs, but we also have what we call the other side of the house, which is non-credit.
Mhm.
So if a student, for example, is interested in veterinary technician,
Wow,
phlebotomy technician,
really?
that's all through non-credit. And so financially it doesn't necessarily cover for that yet, but it is still something where we offer it. And a lot of our students have graduated from those programs. Normally they come out with jobs already
I'm into that.
because there's a high
Demand.
percentage of need for those particular jobs. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
No, that's incredible.
Mhm.
So, último,
Mhm.
well, nos quedamos aquí hablando como quiera porque a mí me encanta. Aquí se paró, pero nosotros seguimos
Mhm,
aquí
mhm,
recording.
mhm.
Let me see. Okay. Me hiciste llorar. Estoy pensando en todo lo que tenemos que celebrar. Okay. Estoy pensando en how much you mean to me. That it's not gonna come out right. I told myself and I told my daughter today. I'm gonna sit down with Wanda. I'm gonna sit down with Wanda. What can I say about Wanda? And my daughter, she's like, and she wanted to be here. She couldn't, be here, but I know that she's watching. And she's like, Mom, it's gonna come to you. And I usually have words for everything, and I usually not words, but I usually have something to say. I am speechless because you are a big part of my life, and I appreciate everything that you do for me, and I gotta say it so it can stay forever out there. So a todo el mundo, to everybody at the end, I tell everybody to say something in Spanish that it means something to you. Y puede ser un consejo, puede ser una abreviación, puede ser. I had one person over here that she mentioned something about her grandma saying. Tú sabes que las abuelas de uno decían un par de cositas, tienen tantos dichos. What can you tell just to, para decirlo ahora, lo que tú quieras, maybe lo que tú quieres representar, ya tú lo representas. Whatever it is, pero lo tienes que decir completamente en español.
Okay, so, una de las cosas que puedo decir que mi abuelito, que era más pequeño que yo, nos decía...
Más pequeño que tú.
Más pequeño que yo, sí, más pequeño que yo. El papá de mi mami era un pastor, pero un pastor muy gracioso, flexible en su mente, la manera que hablaba de Dios. Y una de las cosas que siempre cargo en mi corazón de mi abuelito es, nunca olvides de dónde tú veniste. Nunca olvides la diferencia que tú puedes hacer después que lo tenga en tu corazón, ayudar a los demás.
Te lo pasó bien a ti. I think that we are a reflection of where we come from. Absolutely. I never understood that until, obviously late in my life. And it's such a shame because, one of these things, I could have done this differently. I mean, all the mistakes that I made brought me to who I am today.
Those are lessons.
So, right? So, sometimes I do think, pero todo lo que tú brindas es pasión, es reflexión, porque ella me regaña, ella me pone
con mucho cariño, con mucho cariño.
Sonia, you should do this and not this. So yeah, I appreciate that. So,
sure.
In this ending with this podcast, and I know that we, I joke around and I bring different people and they tell their stories. And thank you for, stopping by and being el broche de oro.
Oh, gracias.
So te lo agradezco muchísimo. I thank you so much for being who you are. Wanda, I'm so, this 2025, you did it. 2026 is going to start and I can't wait and this time, I want to hear it. We all want to hear it. If you tell me, I'm going to share. So, muchísimas gracias. Thank you, Wanda, for stopping by. Gracias. And all of you, if you want to talk to Wanda, this is going to be in Facebook and, I'm going to tag her. And if you have any questions about anything in life, reach out to Wanda. She will be the right person to talk to.
Gracias.
Gracias a todos. Bye, Ben. Woo, we did it, baby. Ven acá.
Thank you.
I love you.
Thank you. Love you too.
I love you.
Yeah.
Oh my
But
goodness.
the best part is you're talking to your best friend, so it's not as nerve-wracking.
It's not. It's not.